Hi guys, my name is Jessica Garrett, and I just want to share with you guys my pregnancy story. I've had a lot of people ask me questions, and I am just here to give you guys the answers. So, to go along, in my pregnancy, I would like to say during my first initial visit, I was assigned as a high risk pregnancy because I had very high blood pressure, and I was like given baby ibuprofen, baby iron pills basically to subside my high blood pressure, but it definitely did not help me. I pretty much had high blood pressure throughout my whole pregnancy. I would say I was showing very early, even at like 2 to 3 months. I looked about 4 or 5 months, and then it kind of go into like us knowing and figuring out that I just had a lot of amniotic fluid in my stomach, assuming that it was going to be a very, very big baby, basically. During this time, I was working as a behavior technician, and it got to a point where around 6 months of me being pregnant, I had to stop working because I was becoming faint. I was just seeing the stars. I was just passing out, basically. I could not run with the kids and do all the things that I had to do. So, and this was during COVID. So this is when they were also trying to push the pregnant people and everyone to take the shot. And I was against the shot. I wasn't gonna get the shot. I was having a complicated pregnancy. I just wasn't doing it. My baby, she set up, breached the whole pregnancy, so my stomach always looked weird because her head was always at the top and her feet was always at the bottom. So I'm gonna add a picture literally so you guys can see. So I always had a really big belly. I had a very weird time. I couldn't drink water. Every time I drank water, I would just projectile vomit, and I couldn't really eat a lot of different things. Like, I was just eating bagels, potatoes. I'm over here thinking that's literally it. Like, I would try, like, I would crave something, and then as soon as I eat the last drop of it, I would literally vomit it all up. Like, no joke. Like, I had a very hard time keeping solids down, and I actually had a hard time drinking fluids. To this day, like, I still don't really get why. But I just know stress had a lot to contribute with it. I do come from a bloodline of women who have a hard time delivering babies, as well as during pregnancy as well. So that's something I already knew, and that's the reason why I try to limit my stress. But because of the situation I was in with the father, that increased my stress. Working increased my stress. My living situation that increased my stress. I did move out my dad's house mid-pregnancy. That was very hard to do because everything was just so hard to do. It got to a point where I couldn't even sleep because all the weight would just crush me, and I have asthma. So I was sleeping every single day at an angle. I was basically sleeping sitting up just like this. So it was very hard for me. I would say, like, even about to go into labor, it was very hard for me. I have a very high pain tolerance, so I felt like because of all the issues I was having, even to the point of breaking out, I started breaking out around 7 months. From 7 to 9 months to the end of pregnancy, I was breaking out in hives. I'm going to literally add a picture. I'm going to add a picture there too as well. I was breaking out in hives all around my body, but particularly all over my stomach. It was this big, red, irritated bumps all around my stomach. It was just crazy. Nothing I did fixed it. No pill I took fixed anything. No migraine medication I took fixed anything. And all because to find out it was that it was preeclampsia. And because I had just turned the age where it kicked me off my dad's insurance, it forced me to change my primary doctor. And this is all during COVID, like I said. So again, not fun. to be switching your doctor mid-pregnancy during a complicated pregnancy, basically. Initially, I felt like from the beginning, I knew it was a girl. I wanted it to be a girl, but from the researches I did, I felt like this was happening maybe because it was a girl. And then all the additional stresses and stressors and preeclampsia and all these other things I was going through, making it very hard for my body to host this child, you know? So that's really the thing about it. And all this to say is that women really need advocates. I felt like if I had a better advocate, I would have been better. I would have been in a better situation. But I'm educated and I advocated for myself. And I just felt like being a black woman, single by yourself, doing this all by yourself, you're perceived a certain way in the eyes of medicine. And I really, really hope that they're striving to change that narrative of how they treat women of color who are single, presenting pregnant by themselves. You know, from a standpoint, I feel like a lot during my appointments, the doctors were not listening to me. I was telling them, hey, I feel this is happening to me, something's wrong with me, and they would just send me off my way. So when we got to the point where we had to schedule a C-section, and then that's when they were like, oh, you're a breech, we're gonna try to turn the baby around, get an EBC, I believe. And during that EBC, I was screaming and shouting and screaming and shouting. That's how painful it was during them trying to rotate the baby. She just was not rotating. It was terrible. And I literally went into labor. I literally pushing that baby, trying to twist that baby around. She said, y'all want me to come out? I'm coming out. So that's literally what happened to me. I literally got an EBC a few weeks before my scheduled C-section. And it literally sent me into labor. And I will talk more about my pregnancy, my labor and delivery after this video. So thank you guys again for hearing me talk a little bit about my experience of being a young woman, young single black woman, pregnant in Sacramento, California. Thank you. Please like, subscribe. You want to hear the next story. The next story's coming.